over rotation of the hips, so taking the club back with a massive hip rotation, and then from there they come over the top because they can't get them out of the way. They've never been educated to the feeling of how the hips actually work. Watch this. Right, we're on. Hips don't lie. So today we're talking power in the golf swing, a super power move. We're talking about how the hips work. What do the hips do? How do they move the load? Well, I guess we'll find out. I'm here today at Eureka Golf Resort in Mallorca, talking about hips. Now, what do the hips do in the golf swing? Well, the hips have to rotate. Rotation's power. Rotational action within the golf swing is power. The more you rotate, the more power you're going to have. The golf swing's not a lateral move from side to side, it's a rotational move and a lateral move put together. So it's not just rotational, it's not just lateral, it's a lateral rotation. Who'd have thought that? Sliding and turning at the same time, eh? So a lateral rotation, moving and turning at the same time. Now, how do we feel the hips work? I've seen some really funky moves in the golf swing. People who keep their hips perfectly still on the way back, so take the club back with no hip movement at all, and then try and get loads on the way through. Wow. People with over rotation of the hips, so taking the club back with a massive hip rotation, and then from there they come over the top because they can't get them out of the way. They've never been educated to the feeling of how the hips actually work. Watch this. For this, you can do this at home. For this, you're going to require some form of heavy weight. I have a camera bag there full of equipment. So this camera bag, if I take the bag and hold the weight in front of me, in order for me to get this bag to turn away from target, target's up there, to turn away from target, I don't just move my hands because that's all the power I have. That's as far as I can go. There. So that's no hip turn. If I move my hips first, I can turn further because my hips turn. Byproduct of that, my chest turns, my shoulders turn, arms, forearms, hands, grip, shaft, sweet spot. Hips first to there, then the way back down, just hands and arms. Nope, hips lead as well. So there to get through. So hips are leading the whole motion. It's about to get a lot better and a little bit more funky. Take your bag again, make sure it's a good heavy weight. So we know hips go back, which leads this, hips go forward, which lead that. Now we want to try and dance doing that. We want to feel the hips going first. So here we go. So hips, hips. Create a bit of rhythm. Can you see how my hips are really leading it? Because the weight's so heavy. Now the golf swing's not as heavy as this, but it's the creating the motion, the leg action, to play golf. Can you see the leg action, especially on the follow through? So the backswing is really to get momentum going, especially with such a heavy weight to there. But then from there, watch how the hips and the legs do their thing to get through. So it's more about the through swing with the heavy weight, but it's about both with the golf swing. Look at the leg action. That's quite hard work, that. That looks so simple, but that is such a good feeling, such a good exaggeration, such a good demonstration, such a good sensation to feel how the body works in the golf swing. That's worked not just my hips, not just my legs, but it's also worked my upper body, my shoulders, and I mentioned hands and arms. It creates sequencing. Who doesn't want that? I am out of breath now. And then that translates to, just move this out the way. That then translates to the golf swing. So, in your practice swing, when you feel it, hips, 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 hips. Don't worry too much about hands and arms. In fact, don't worry about them at all. Just let your body, your hips, control the legs and the upper body. The upper body, if it's controlled, the hands and arms will follow. So there. It's just an absolutely sweet 8 iron. I'm playing this off a tee just now. I'm playing this from a tee just now to give myself a little bit of leeway. Every time you change something within the golf swing, it's good to maybe possibly just tee up slightly, give you a little bit of a head start. Any change feels very strange. If you're trying to change something and it doesn't feel strange, you've changed nothing. So again, my ball's teed up. Can you see how my hips are through, my belt buckle's towards target, my chest is open, shoulders square to target, and I've got lag, I've got our forward shaft lean. That's from the hips working. I'll do that face on. So face on here. Ready? There we are. So the hips have fully led the shot, in the chest, shoulders are square, arms are slightly behind, club head's behind everything. The handle of the golf club leads the club head. With the hips working like that, it's a purely pivot driven golf drill, so therefore the last thing to come down is the golf club head. There's no casting, no out to in. Bingo. So then from there you step up and play a few shots trying to capture that feeling. So there, there, there. I'm just going to hit one at that range of motion. There. Very good. Let's increase range of motion. Let's add a little bit more to it. So there. Good again. Then eventually you'll get it off the ground. Because this is pivot driven, body driven, hands are the only point of contact with the golf club, so we feel as though we have lost control. Just trust strike. Don't be too keen to hit balls off the deck straight away. Use the tee. But you'll get there. You'll eventually get there. So same motion. That's great, just from the top there, using my right hip to bring that club back. Step on. We're just hitting golf shops all day. Golf shops, golf shots. So educating the hips is a massive thing. It's pivot driven, the golf swing, it's not hands and arms. Can't explain that enough. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for being at Pool of Golf with me, and subscribe if you've not. I'm sure you have. Anyway, hit the button again, see what happens. Also the bell notification, very important, and I'll see you in my next video.